Yeah, we're back on the SportsMax Zone, and from riding his first winner as an apprentice back in 1986, sweet explosion for legendary trainer Billy Williams, to riding a record 172 winners in the 2002 season, Trevor Slicer Simpson has had one of the best careers among jockeys at Caymanas Park. He won his first Jockeys Championship title in 1989 at the age of 20 years old, going on to emerge top of the jockeys pile another 4 times. He has won almost all the big races on the local calendar, with the Derby and Super Stakes, the 2 that continue to elude him. He has ridden over 430 winners in North America, the USA and Canada that is, and has been a firm crowd favorite at various tracks for the better part of 36 years. The man himself, Slicer, joins us on the SportsMax Zone now by telephone. Trevor Simpson, first of all, we understand that you're here in Jamaica. Great to have you back home, sir, and welcome to the SportsMax Zone.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. All
right, let me start here. You turned 53 years old last month, Slicer. A lot of outstanding jockeys in the past have ridden at that age and beyond. The Lester Piggott, and Angel Cordero, Willie Shoemaker, and so on. Winston Griffiths was still riding at 53. How much longer will you be in the saddle, and how much will you be in the saddle in 2022?
Well, as long as I'm feeling well and keeping my body healthy and trained and fit, so as long as I feel as strong as I am, I will stay in the saddle.
Okay, based on your bookings, I haven't seen you ride since late last year, October at Century Mile. Usually you would come home for the winter season for Caymanas Park racing. You haven't done that this time. What's the reason for that? Yes, Slicer, are you hearing me?
Hello?
Yeah, are you hearing me now? Hello? Yeah, I think he's having some issues with the audio here, George and Mariah. Yeah. Trevor Simpson, are you hearing us now? Well, his line is open. His line is open, and I know we can hear him. It appears, though, that he is not hearing us at the moment. Of course, George. Hello, Slicer, are you hearing us now?
Hello?
Yes, are you hearing us now? Yeah, I think
we need to call him back.
Yeah, maybe we need to call him back.
I feel he's at the track.
You think so?
Yeah,
it sounds pretty windy, but these are windy times as well. You know that Slicer is George's favorite jockey. I don't think he will suggest that he's the best rider ever at Caymanas Park, but he's his favorite, isn't he, George?
Yeah, you know, and one of my regrets is I was in a discussion once, a long time ago, with some older folks. And we were talking about jockeys. And I regret leaving the argument, not defending my jockey in the way that I usually do. Because
you didn't defend? What happened?
No, because guess what? It was my doing, because I myself nuanced the argument to say, well, we're not talking about best jockey, because you can never determine on who is a best jockey, a jockey better than any other jockey. But we were talking about favorite jockey. But I felt I should have kept it at the best jockey and made the case for Slicer being the best jockey. Yeah, so that's one regret. But there's no doubt. I mean, there is no doubt. My favorite jockey, first of all, was Andrew Ramjeet. But when Ramjeet went to foreign, it was Slicer till then. And even to this day, he's 53 years old. Still my jockey.
Yes, Slicer, you're back. We had some problems here. Are you hearing us now?
Okay, I'm on the line.
Okay, excellent. Let me go back to what I was saying. We haven't seen you at Caymanas Park this winter break, because you're usually in the Caribbean for the Canadian winter break. Why haven't we seen you at Caymanas Park this term?
Well, fortunately, I've been doing very well in Canada. And just just try to take a little break from it. The game here.
Yeah, I know that the last 5 or 6 Lethbridge seasons in Alberta, you've been champion jockey there. It seems pretty easy for you there, Slicer. Every time I look at the race card, 3-4 wins for Slicer Simpson.
Yeah, basically I've been riding for the leading trainer there. And he like how me ride and very experienced. So I've been doing very well here.
Yeah, how difficult was it when you decided, to leave Jamaica and ply your trade abroad?
Well, when I was small, I really wanted to go overseas and try to get my experience over there. So I used to ride in the States until I drove over to Canada.
can you share with us, you know, some of the most intense jockeys that you would have competed at?
But fortunately, I've been riding against some very good jockeys, especially in Aqueduct.
Yeah.
Like Otis and John Velasquez, Castellano. So I've been riding against good riders there.
Yeah, and based on the amount of success that you have achieved so far, which would you say had to be, you know, your most memorable, the ride that you had the most fun?
Well, I can remember the first time I went to Aqueduct.
Yeah.
In the two brothers with the Otis. You know, that was a very good ride from there. You know, one on the outside, one on the inside, and I was in the middle of it.
Yeah, when you decide to no longer be a jockey anymore, what would you like to be remembered as? You know, I read some interviews where you were saying that, you know, you want to inspire the youngsters, you want to leave that sort of legacy. You're on the show now, so I think it's only fitting that you tell us what you'd want to be remembered for the most.
Unfortunately, when I quit racing, I would like to be a trainer.
Yeah?
Unfortunately, I would like to help the younger riders, you know, show them as much experience they can learn from me and teach them my best ability.
Yeah, so George Davis is standing by and he's waiting.
Trevor, good afternoon. A pleasure for me to be speaking to you here again, my friend. Let's talk some horses now, Trevor, and talk Caymanas Park, because you've ridden some top 3-year-olds over the course of your career at Caymanas Park. But I want to ask you if you feel that you had a special relationship with the Billy Williams horse, Restless Glen. In 1991, it was. You won the Guineas with him, and you came up short in the derby against Port of the Rich Girl and the St. Ledger. But I just believe that of all the 3-year-olds you rode, he was a special one. Maybe not the most special, but certainly a special one. Is that so?
I would guess so, because Let's Glen was a very good 3-year-old. You know, I do very well with Mr. Williams. And I think that horse is a horse, I would say.
Yeah. Tell me though, I've always wondered, when Distinctly Native was on her path to the Derby, you rode her, you won with her in a D handicap, the race before the Derby, and many people thought you would have retained the ride for the Derby, but they went elsewhere. What caused you to lose that ride?
Well, I guess the chance is with St. Griffiths come for the mount and the owners. So that's the way it is in the racing. Yeah.
So Fana came and asked for the ride and he got it.
Yeah, he got it.
As the big man at the time.
Yeah, he was the man.
Yeah. Your first Jockeys Championship in 1989, Trevor. You won the year after Joe Buchanan won in 88. Did you enter that season knowing you had a shot at the title?
Yeah. In 1988, I got appendix, and that's what really stopped me from beat Buchanan there.
So then, yeah, man, continue. Yes. So you had an appendix issue in 88, which caused you not to meet Buchanan, and in 89 you were fit again and you did the business.
Yes.
Yeah. You had some famous battles with Hubert Bartley. You had some famous battles with Joe Buchanan as well. Tell me about some of those jockeys at Caymanas Park who you would say gave you the most trouble, especially in close finishes.
Well, seriously, Ramjeet was a very tricky rider, and I learned a lot from him.
Yeah? Who else?
Yeah, he teach me a lot.
Ramjeet?
Yeah, Ramjeet. And Bartley was my idol.
China Bartley was your idol?
Yeah, China Bartley was my idol because he rides so flat and, you know, always smooth and right on time.
Yes. When you were young, of course, you got a lot of rides from Billy Williams. You got a lot of rides from Michael Silveira. Especially, well, a lot of trainers used you, of course, and you won a lot of races for everybody, but especially Billy Williams. Can you tell us about the impact that the great man had on your career?
Well, when I just get my license, I got it from Mr. Lyford Hall. And then when Mr. Williams came back in the racing, and I went to his stable and started with some 2-year-olds for him. And he see me as a great rider. And he said, you know, I like how you ride, I like how you position on horse, so I'm going to make you the man.
Gotta make him be the man. Yeah. You remember I think it was in 89 again, Slicer, in the Viceroy's 3-year-old season when he was on a path to breaking Royal Dad's record for 11 consecutive wins, 11 straight wins. And you had a horse by the name of Gentle Lover for Kenny Mattis. I think it was the Governor General Stakes. And you upset all Viceroy supporters that day because you ended the win streak. You remember that, right?
Yeah. I think when I was on that horse, and I get to the furlong pole, my whip fall out of my hand. And I started unpunched. You know, and the horse was very responsive to it.
Gentle Lover.
Gentle Lover.
Yeah. Of all the races you've ridden, my friend, the one I will always remember, I think. I've remembered it every day since, and I think I remember it. Again, was 91. It was the Benson and Hedges Gold Cup, Slicer. You caught Regent Gold and Carl Brown on the line on board Kadula. You remember that one?
Oh, man, that was all right.
Tell me about that one if you remember it. Tell me about that one.
I think the horse took a lot of ride, and I was way out of it. You know, and then I didn't give up. I just started riding, and I find that great start, the momentum, and keep going. And each time I ride him and hit him, I feel the feel coming right back to me. And I was so tired when I'm finished.
I remember in your post-race interview, Slicer, you told the interviewer that you felt as if you were driving a car up the street because you were just turning around horses, moving left and right, trying to find racing room.
Try to find racing room. I couldn't do that horse 2 weeks one time. I have to give him one at a time.
Yes.
The way it got me so tired.
I can just imagine. Trevor, there was a moment when I really thought that, yes, my jockey is going to win the Derby. And it was the year you rode Rum Talk for Philip Fiani. And Rum Talk finished second to the Bomber, running on, but the Bomber had gone already. And people were saying, boy, Slicer threw the race. But Charles Hussey, who won the St. Leger with Rum Talk in the next classic, said, no, this horse is very difficult to ride because he will fall asleep on you down the backstretch. And no matter what you do, he'll not respond. And he will look as if you're holding him back, when it's really that he's not picking up. And it was after that St. Leger race that many people believed what you were saying, that the horse just fell asleep on you in the race.
So true. The horse is a horse that take a lot of ride. You know, and I thought that they got that race. But so many ride in that race, and it just stressed me out that day.
Stress you out. Trevor, you've ridden so many great horses. I saw something where you said one time that the best horse you saw at the track was Persian Invader. And I'm saying, but to me, Slicer has ridden so many horses that to me were better than Persian Invader. Why would you say that Persian Invader is the best horse he has seen at Caymanas Park? And I always wanted to ask you that question.
The Persian Invader was a good horse too. And I win so many races in my career, it's hard for me to remember so much.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that horse was a good horse.
Yeah. So again, trainers who have been good to you over the course of the career. Of course, we've spoken about the legend, Masters, Billy Williams of blessed memory, and I mentioned Michael Silveira. We all of course remember the partnership you had with Wayne DaCosta. Those 3 years, 2000 to 2002, ending with the 172, the record year. Those must have been 3 great years, Trevor.
Yeah, part is the trainer that put me on the map too. You know, because I can remember that Wayne DaCosta.
Yes.
He put me on the map too.
Yes, man.
Because I can remember I was in upstate New York, and I went down here and ride a horse for pinching. And the day party see me and said, can you see I ride some horses for me? I said, okay. And from that day, we go. Yep.
Trevor, there have been so many outstanding horses, so many horses for Wayne DaCosta, Country Boy, Meteor Man, Clockwork, all of those great horses. It's been a pleasure watching you ride, and as we end, I also want to tell you that I wish you all the strength, I wish you luck with fitness, and I hope you continue until you decide to retire.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All the best to you.
Yeah.
Good. Lance,
You feel good?
this is what sport is all about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you talk to the guys who did it, you know?
Yeah, one of the things I appreciate about the path that horse racing has taken in recent years is the accessibility of these jockeys and these riders. When I started radio in 1984, jockeys and trainers were a lot less willing to talk to the media as they are now. I remember inviting Trevor Simpson to a talk show that I did on Wednesday nights on radio. And he didn't really want to come to, he was one of the most popular jockeys at the time. I had to drive to pick him up at his home at Harbour View. He was living in Harbour View at the time. And I went for him that night and picked him up and took him to the studio. He would do it, but he wasn't that crazy about doing it. And I'm just saying that things have changed, that the stakeholders in the sport now recognize the importance of media and interacting with the media and making fans hear them. And, you know, because I don't think there was any difficulty in getting him to come on today. No. And that wasn't so when I had him on in the late 1980s.
I tell you this, in the mid-2000s when I left university and I started working in media, I was a production assistant with Ed Barnes at Nationwide on a Sunday program. Yeah? And we got Paul Country Francis and Dane Nelson to come to the studio. You know, Ed Barnes is great in racing circles and outside.
Yes.
So he got them to come. And I learned so much from them that night in terms of jockey relationships. They said on the program that, look, every jockey who's worth anything turns off their phone on a Thursday morning, from a Thursday morning, because that's when
until race day.
The overnight comes out. Yeah. He says everybody's calling, asking you for tips, asking you for insight, and it's annoying. You can't get to sleep. Everybody wants to know things. And he told me some things about how jockeys view the media, and you know, jockeys are very superstitious.
Yes, yes.
So if you ask them a certain question and a show winner that they think they didn't come through, they're gonna say it's because they spoke to the radio man or the TV man why they didn't win, and they'll never speak to a radio or TV man again.
Oh my!
It's so I can very much understand what you say.
Yes,
and you know, we've been in the game deep, interviewing people.
Yes.
Trainers and jockeys are very suspicious, and people might use it to criticize them, but they have reason to be, because so many people around them try to exploit them, and are always looking for something, wanting something. So them being very guarded and very reluctant to open up, I understand it very well.
Yeah,
I must say.
I understand too.
Break time.
Wow.